Okay, and we are back for part 2 of Middle West Spirits. We have tasted the pumpernickel rye, and now we're going to try the bourbon and the straight rye.
Straight wheat.
Straight. Wow. I'm struggling here, Charlie. But that's okay. We're going to continue on. We're going to try the Michelin bourbon first. I guess that's how you pronounce it.
It's 4 grain, which is interesting.
Absolutely. And if it hits like the pumpernickel rye did, then I'm kind of looking forward to this.
100%. So quick rundown on this is mash bill, non-GMO, open pollinated yellow corn, Ohio soft red winter wheat, dark pumpernickel rye, and 2-row barley. That is a mouthful of delicious goodness.
Okay, so this has the dark pumpernickel rye in it.
It does.
Awesome.
And just to recap from part 1, they manage over 25,000 acres of grain land. All their grains are food grade and non-GMO. They mill their own stuff. Their soft red winter wheat is from seeds selected and grown in the clay-packed soil of northern Ohio. A fatter wheat berry that is different than wheat grains used in most spirits due to its high starch and vanillin content. It's all very sciencey. And the yellow corn are heirloom corn seeds that date back to the 1900s, food grade, and have not been genetically modified.
Love that part. Love non-GMO.
I love everything about it.
Good on you, Middle West. If any of you watch this channel at all, you probably know that Charlie's not a huge fan of wheaters.
Yeah, but we don't know the
You do love
percentage
4
of
grains, right?
I typically do love 4 grains if there's not too much wheat, but this is different. This is a soft red winter wheat, which I don't know if I've had it. Man, that's kind of...
This is dark, a little bit darker.
It is darker than the pumpernickel, yeah.
Right?
No age statement, but it does call out, it is a straight bourbon whiskey, so by my math, that says it's at least 4 years old.
And this is aged in proprietary toasted and charred American white oak barrels.
Thank you for mentioning that. All of their products are aged in proprietary, toasted, and charred.
Awesome.
So let's nose this
Get the
thing.
nosing. I like the nose right off the bat.
Ooh, man.
A little smoky.
Proof on this is 95. This is a flavorful nose at 95 proof. Man, smoky, a little caramel.
Yeah, you're right. Caramel, campfire.
Man.
Not a heavy smoky campfire nose, but it's just there. I mean,
boy, that's nice. A lot of char too. When I say campfire, I probably mean char. I get a nice of the barrel char, kind of burnt sugars. All right, I'm kind of excited. Let's go. Middle West.
boy, that is interesting.
You want to go?
I don't know if I've quite tasted anything like that. I'm going to let you go because I need to gather my thoughts for a second.
It has this very light, crisp, dancing mouthfeel.
Crisp is the first word that came to my mind.
It is kind of viscous in the glass, but when it hits your mouth, like it makes me salivate, and it just swirls around, and is really nice. It's really kind of a delicate kind of bourbon, like a sipping bourbon, because it just kind of dances around your palate, and it just kind of like not any overwhelming flavor that kind of grabs you, like oak bomb or cherries or fruit. But it's just so nice. It's got some sweet corn and some burnt sugars and some vanilla, and it leaves you with this nice oaky finish that just lingers.
Yeah, very nice oaky finish. Dare I use the word smooth? I know that pisses a lot of people off, but it is very smooth, but it also packs a little bit of punch. It's, it's got that nice, what was it, 95 proof?
95,
yeah. It drinks like a nice 95 proof. And maybe this is my palate tonight, but I'm getting that same tea flavor that I got on the pumpernickel. So I don't know what it is.
I don't get that quite as much on this one. I get, I really like, and I talked about this in part one, which if you haven't watched, go back and watch part one. Kind of the taste the grain. I can kind of taste the character of the corn. I can taste the character of the barley, the wheat, which I'm not a big fan of wheaters. I get a little bit of that kind of soft wheat, that little sweetness
it's
to
there, and it's pleasant.
And it all complements itself very well. This is not a grab you by the palate, like you're going on a ride. Like it's a very delicate, it's a very refined. This is a very, very nice sipping bourbon.
Once again, very well rounded, which I think is what you get with a nice 4 grain, right?
Yeah, well, it's what you want, right? Like you want all of those grains to complement each other and give you a nice balanced product. The nose has really opened up on
And
mine.
I love that caramel oaky finish.
Yeah, it has a nice, I said it's not real heavy on your palate. It's heavy on the finish to me. That kind of oakiness has some weight kind of on the finish. Like you feel it sitting on your tongue.
But it makes you, and you say this often, it's got one of those finishes that just makes you want to drink it again. Leaves you wanting more, right?
Sorry, I had to drink the rest of it because my palate wanted more.
Why not?
I really like that. That is
I do too.
a really nice complementary, like it's just what you want. And especially in, like, let's talk real quickly about craft distilleries. The knock on craft distilleries for the people who knock them, which if you do, shame on you, is, all the stuff's always young and it always tastes like blah, 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 and this, that, and the other. Why I like craft distilleries is I don't know if I've had anything that I would compare this to. Like, this is a unique flavor.
Very unique.
And I like that.
And while it doesn't taste super aged, it also doesn't taste super young. It's good enough to where you don't really think about what the age is, to me anyway.
I 100% agree with you. I 100% agree with you. And this is available on their website. And of course, I don't have the website up, so I can't remember MSRP, but I think it was, Glenn will put it at the bottom. So,
Sure. Just Google Middle West.
Google Middle West Spirit. Or drive up to Columbus. Yeah,
right?
it's 2024. Or go to Columbus, Ohio and visit them.
Which is something we'll have to do at some point.
Absolutely. All right, are we going to do this
Let's get
thing?
to the straight wheat.
This is straight wheat whiskey. So the mash bill is wheat.
You're excited about this.
I am. This is the Ohio Soft Red Winter Wheat, highlighting their regional agriculture. It is aged in new, toasted, and charred American white oak barrels for a minimum of 4 years. Man, that has a really nice color on it, though.
Not super dark, but just a nice...
Yeah, just a
nice
copper,
Man,
amber.
look at that cling to the glass.
Good night.
Jeez.
And the proof on this straight wheat whiskey is 92 proof.
92 proof. Okay. Let's get into the nose.
I'm a little nervous about this one.
I'm nervous for you. Although, I have high hopes for this after the first two.
It's fruity.
It is very fruity.
That's fruity and floral.
Grapes and apples.
Yeah, it smells like a fruit salad. Like
I'll go with you on
grapes
that
and like a grape apple, like a Waldorf salad. Have you ever had Waldorf salad?
With the Cool Whip.
Or mayonnaise.
Mixing,
and then that's like, it's one of my favorite things. My grandmother makes it. And that's what this smells like.
Did I say Cool Whip?
It's mayonnaise. It's all right.
I'm thinking that fruit salad that has a Cool Whip.
Yeah, that's
Waldorf. I'll go there.
But yeah, I don't know if there's anything else to add. I mean,
yeah, it's pretty
that's
straightforward.
an unbelievable nose on a non-finished. You ever smell anything that fruity on a non-finished?
Yeah, it's interesting.
That's crazy. All right.
Cheers.
Intrigued.
Did that feel like it hit your mouth like with a lot of weight?
It's interesting. You talk.
Well, like I said, first of all, it hit my mouth with a little bit more weight and viscosity than I expected. It's very straightforward. I don't get the smokiness or anything like that I got on the bourbon. It's just a very nice kind of a smooth sipper.
Have you ever had a straight wheat whiskey?
I'm sure I have. One doesn't come to mind.
I can't think of one that I've had. And this one I thought, because we talk about it all the time, I'm not really a fan of wheated bourbons. This is really drinkable. It's not a bourbon. It's not even kind of in the realm of like an American whiskey, like that's kind of bourbon-y. This is a very unique, it's, you get a little bit of that fruit kind of when you drink it.
I don't get a whole lot of the fruit
doesn't,
on the palate.
nothing hangs around for a long time.
Yeah.
You're left with a little splash of fruit, a splash of sweet, a little bit of proof, just to let you know you're drinking something, and then some nice little oaky character to it.
There is a little oak character. I'm getting just a little bit of like the semi-sweet chocolate now on the finish. But there's nothing that really just stands out and says, hey, this is what I am. Other than it's just a good, nice tasting, smooth sipper.
I got your semi-sweet chocolate now. Yeah.
But I will say I don't get that wheat funk.
I don't get any funk to it. It almost, it's like a wheated scotch. Like, does that make sense? Like you kind of taste it for what it is. Like that's what if you're drinking a wheated whiskey, you want to kind of have this. This is what you want in a wheated whiskey, right? A 92 proof, something that's infinitely sippable, that is nice. And I mean,
and when you say like a scotch, I kind of see where you're going with that because, like a single malt.
Yeah, this is a single malt.
This is a single malt. Yeah.
It's wheat scotch. and I like it. Now, is this something...
Or not a single malt, a single grain.
Yeah. This is something that I kind of I would lump in with other scotches and kind of unique mash bills. Is this something that I would come home after a long day and be like, what I'm really craving is some of that? No, I wouldn't crave it, but if I saw it on my bar every once in a while, I'm going to revisit that because I like it. I do like it. I think it's interesting.
I'd pull that out every now and then, sip on it. I kind of like it.
So,
and the more it sits on my palate, the more character it kind of.
I was just going to say that the more I drink it, it kind of opens up a little bit, which is really interesting. So this is the third one we've drank in this series of episodes. The pumpernickel rye was 92 proof. Nope, that's the wheat whiskey, sorry. The pumpernickel rye was 96 proof. The bourbon was 95 proof, and the wheat whiskey is 92. I do find it interesting that even after these two, which have a lot of really great character, that still holds up. I think that speaks to how good, and that can hold its own. That punches outside its weight class a little bit.
Now, are we going to give these number ratings, or are we going to rank them 1 to 3? I think we should probably do number ratings.
I think we should do number ratings. Now, well, let's do both. Do you want to do both?
Sure.
Okay.
Do both.
So you're at Middle West. You can only buy one bottle, 1, 2, 3. You go.
Man, that's tough. To me, it's a tough decision between 1 and 2, the pumpernickel and the bourbon. Yeah, it's a really, really tough decision. I'm going to go with the pumpernickel just because of the uniqueness of it. And so I'll go with the bourbon second and the straight wheat third.
I completely agree, and you stole all my talking points. We have an idea of how these episodes are going to be, and if you drink enough, like we do, just reading a mash bill and kind of looking behind the bourbon that's in the glass, we can get an idea of we should like this, we probably will like this, we probably won't like this. Sometimes we're surprised. I thought that the pumpernickel rye would blow the others away, and we would be talking about the pumpernickel worth the price of admission. I was very surprised at how really good the bourbon is. Like, I really enjoy that bourbon. And the wheat whiskey, I did not despise. I think that is an absolutely sippable bottle, and Glenn's drinking on my pumpernickel. So I agree with you on that. Now, let's rank them. Pumpernickel, bourbon, and wheat whiskey. Fire them off. Lightning round.
You go.
7.25, 7, 6.875.
You said that so fast. Do you know how hard it is going to be for me to put that graphic up on the screen?
Because he's just going to put like exclamation point, question mark, hashtag, like 7.25, 7, 6.875.
Okay. This is the
pumpernickel.
That's the pumpernickel.
Yep.
Solid 7.
Okay.
This is the bourbon.
Yep.
I'm going to go 7.25.
Okay.
Which I know I'm contradicting myself. Yeah, I said
that's amazing. I love this.
But it's because of the uniqueness that I gave the pumpernickel a higher, that I picked it over the bourbon.
Okay.
Now, if I'm just rating them, without that in mind, I'm gonna rate the bourbon a little bit higher. The straight wheat, very sippable, not overly complex. I'm gonna go 6.75 on it.
We're pretty close. Have you nosed that pumpernickel rye that you just poured?
Mm-hmm. I have.
Like crazy caramel, like right now.
Yep.
Like, so good. So, let's wrap this up. Middle West Spirits, worth the price of admission. Thank you to Jennifer at Middle West for providing us these amazing bottles. And thank you for Lucas for emailing us. So if you're watching this and you're thinking, I know a great place and you should reach out to and find some bottles to review, sointobourbon@gmail.com.
And what else do they need to do, Charlie?
They need to like and subscribe on YouTube because that's how you get more hard-hitting content.
And on Instagram at @SoIntoBourbon and TikTok, Whiskey Realtor. And as always, don't forget, keep your wallets loose.
And your pumpernickel rye. Good night, everybody.
Peace out.
And we're back.
And we're back as promised, part 2. Now we're going to get into Middle West's other selections that they sent us. First being the
4-grain bourbon. Second being the slight chuckle because we derailed there. So we're going to do the 4-grain bourbon first.
4-grain first.
Do you want to go back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that got me. I don't know how to pronounce
Don't
it.
say that. Michelin.
Michelin? Micheloni?
Michelin.
Michelone?
Let's call it Michelin.
Michelin. Michelin.
Michelin.
Okay.
You want to call it that? Michelin?
Sure.
Okay. 3, 2, 1.